How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane, and I'm here to give you another Spy Family episode review and recap. Today's episode is episode 8, also known as the Counter Secret Police Cover Operation. That is a very long mouthful. I don't even know if it's actually going to fit in the title. We're going to find out as soon as this video is over. But before we go any further, I'm going to tell you what's not a secret. What is not a secret is me needing you guys to hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. We are certainly trying to get up to 200 subscribers. When I say we, I do mean we. This is a community and a community effort. Even though I am one guy, I'm here for you. Also, you know what else is here for you? The share button. Don't forget to share this video so others can see what a great time we're having. So, I guess I'll address one other thing because I'm assuming that all of you that watch this review, you watch my other reviews. I guarantee that I will catch up with Skeleton Knight in Another World. I will catch up with Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie. I sincerely promise you that. It's just life. You know, things would be so much easier if I was a bigwig guy who was able to get tons and tons of things early. That's how your favorite YouTubers typically are able to get things out quickly. They either have a team or they have early access. Do not expect stranger things from me within the next 3 to 5 days. There's a lot of. It's like almost every episode is like almost an hour. Ooh, ooh. But I digress. I will probably do a Morbius review. I'm now looking forward to that, and Sonic 2. But we're here about anime. So one thing I do like about this episode is no recap. Not every anime episode needs to open up with a recap, and I deeply appreciate that. This is cute here. The heart thing, that is adorable. So, at school, Anya is going to answer a question. She gets it super, super wrong. Like, she answers it so confidently. Everybody's just looking at her, and the teacher's like, that couldn't be any more wrong. Loid is meeting with his handler, the handler lady. I wish I remembered her name. Is her name Stella? No, I know Stella's the name of the stars they gotta get. I can't remember her name, but I like her. I like her a lot. She's saying, yeah, according to HQ, your daughter should be able to get 8 Stella stars within, what did I have here? I want to say 4 months. And Lloyd's hand is just shaking as he puts the teacup down there, having their little meeting out in the open. And, he's saying, wow, yeah, sure, no problem. And she's like, your ability to lie has diminished a bit. And in his mind, he's like, I'm pretty sure she can get 8 Tonitis bolts within 2 months, though. But she tells him that their informant was compromised the other day, tells him to, stay vigilant and keep up with his appearances because there are eyes everywhere and eyes seeing us everywhere, it seems. So, it's kind of funny because the place they're eating at, he is perfectly hidden behind a bush. Like there is a bush that obscures most of his body. You can probably see his arm. You can only see her. And I think the best place to have meetings is typically out in the open. And I didn't put two and two together until I started doing this review that their informant actually does get caught. It's kind of funny. Um, where am I at here? So the military secret police come in. They grab this guy. I think his name's Jim Hayward or whatever. And they grab this guy. He's like, "Hey, you can't grab." Of course, they punch him and knock him and pull him out. I'm gonna say something here real quick. It feels like most of the people, at least within this country, are a holes in the scene. The woman, there's the redheaded woman, is one of yours co-workers. This is all happening where she works, and she's telling them, oh, they came and grabbed him. Even Sharon, black hair, seems like she's the older one. She's drinking her coffee. She's like, yeah, they grabbed somebody in finance, and of course, Yor goes, oh, he must have really been a bad guy. You kill people. I don't care if it's in service of your country. You kill people. It is becoming rapidly apparent that people in either country feel like they're doing something for their country. Although most of the times we hear Twilight / Loid say he's doing it for the world, not just for his country. He's doing it for world peace. And just like in this country, in that country, Ostania, it's like everyone's like, oh, I'm doing it for the country, for the people of the country. It's super World War, post World War One Germany. That is not even funny. But I digress. Camilla comes in and says, "Oh yeah, my boyfriend told your brother about your marriage. You know, you didn't tell him." And I'm sitting there like, I don't like everyone in this room, except for Yor, are a holes. And she's like, "Oh yeah, no, I forgot." And she's thinking in her mind like, "I was so happy everything went through. I forgot to ever mention this." The same redhead wants to see a picture of him. She shows a picture of him. Like, "Oh, is he a hottie? Yeah, he's cute or adorable or attractive, whatever." Um, and they're saying, "Tell us about him." And she's like, "Oh, he always say Nate Chad when he was younger." And she's like, "Oh, he has a sister complex. Nah, I'm cool." Now initially I'm like, "Wow, you guys suck. The women in this office suck." No, she actually might have been onto something, because now we're back at the secret police place. They're still talking. I love how they have overlapping conversations with different scenes. Um, because now we're back where they're beating the crap out of this guy, and his face is all bruised. And the dude that's interrogating him, same Scarface guy that came to get him, smoking, puts a cigarette out on him. Dude's like, "I'm not telling you anything." And our gracious narrator is telling us about the secret police. These guys, they maintain the peace in their nation, and that includes spy hunting, keep an eye out on citizens. They do everything to finish their job. Violence, wiretapping, what's the other one? Torture. It doesn't, yeah, they seem like any other secret military police within any country. A bunch of a-holes, right? You could tell my kind of vibe. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't be surprised if I call a lot of people a-holes. Especially authority figures that like to beat up on folks. I digress. So dude puts a cigarette on the guy, and in comes Yuri. We already knew what Yuri looked like. We already knew who Yuri was. Yuri comes in. He's all cheery, like, "Hey, Chief asked me to finish this up." And the guys walk out, and one of the guys is like, "Yeah, this dude's a puppy dog. Like, what are they doing getting this fella, right?" And dude's like, "Yeah." When I talked to the chief about him, the thing the chief said is, "Isn't Yuri adorable?" I guess that's his whole thing. I guess when it comes to long black haired characters, your Sasuke's, your Yuri's from Tales of Vesperia, characters that look like that, they're deemed cute or whatever. Not my bag of tea, but whatever. And they're like, and dude's like, by the way, these people smoke heavily. Like, there's a freaking ashtray that has tons of cigarette butts. These people smoke way too much. Cancer should be the secret spy they're watching out for. But dude goes, "Yeah, it takes, sometimes you need a puppy dog like that. He's can do the job and he's indiscriminate. I never trust a person that's outwardly cheery too much. Never trust that character. Never trust that person, actually. Sometimes those people are the most tortured people." But Yuri's just 20, which is, again, it's kind of odd that someone at the age of 20 gets up to a position like that. Japan never understands the amount of time it takes to get to certain military positions. Like, if you pay attention, if you are a fan of Resident Evil, Chris Redfield at the age of, like, I think 18 or 19, like, had gone through several army tours and was part of, like, he was like a lieutenant. Like, he got high ranks at such a super young age that it makes it's laughable. It's very laughable because, like, you don't really know how this works, do you? But I digress. So he's in there. He's talking. He's like, "Hey, my sister works where you work, and I love my sister, Gila. I'm supposed to see her today with her and then celebrate her marriage. So I just want to finish this up real quickly. Can you just tell the dude's like, I'm not telling you nothing. I don't know nothing." Throws pictures on the table. The other guy, the one who takes the minutes and writes everything down, was like, you didn't give that evidence in. You withheld it." He's like, "Oh, I forgot to submit it." Anyway, tell us about the guy you're talking to. He's like, "I only did it for money. Don't even know the guy's name." And Yuri's looking for Twilight. Ooh, he's looking for our boy. So he's looking for Twilight, and he's saying, "Oh, he's the most evil of evil, and he wants to throw the world into chaos." And then it instantly appears to me that this is the where we're taking the story. We're taking the story with countries' misconceptions and people's perspectives are all different. Much like the real world, everyone's perspective is different. Although you shouldn't have a different perspective on murder and things like that. Murder should be bad. Hurting children should be bad. Hurting animals should be bad. But we are presented with this. He thinks he thinks he thinks Twilight wants to throw the world into chaos, and Twilight really wants world peace. It almost writes itself how you can imagine how the show and how this manga is gonna be when it gets towards the end, right? Oh, oh, things are gonna get good or things are gonna go bad. And dude's like, I can if I help you catch him, can you go a little bit easy on me? I just wanted to make some extra money, fool around with ladies. And Yuri's like, aren't you married? And he's like, you're married, you should get it. And Yuri just smashes this dude, puts on his glove and smashes this dude's face down. He's like, hey, well, you may see it as nothing, because dude's like, I didn't give political documents. But he's like, you put citizens in danger, man. You put them in danger, and I'm going to take out anything that puts people in danger, especially if it's for my sister. All right, he does have a sister complex. Cool. From the description about it, what I read about this guy, I was like, I don't particularly think I'm going to like him. All right, here we go. So, we're back with our Forger family. Anya is attentively watching Spy Wars with Bondman being tortured. He will not sell out his friends, and Anya's just focused on it. And Lloyd's like, man, if she can concentrate on her studies like that, that'd be great. And so, casually mentioned in the show, he only has 2 bullets left. And she turns and she says, how many bullets are in Bondman's gun? He's like, I believe 8. And she's like, that's 2 8s. He's like, that's correct. And she's like, there's 2 8 bullets in the gun. And he's like, you don't really know what you're saying. But it's amazing that you watching this show helps you understand a lot easier. Yor comes in and she's in a tizzy. And she's like, there's bad news. And of course, Lloyd's like, oh, welcome home. And Anya's hilarious. She still says, 2 8 bullets in the gun. Just the best. Literally, Anya's the best character in the show. Legitimately. Probably the best anime kid, period. Yeah, yeah. So she explains what's going on. Oh, yeah, I gotta roll down here. Um, so she explains the whole thing, and Lloyd's like, that's okay. I got some lovey dovey stuff. There are pictures of them looking like they're gonna kiss. There's pictures of them as a family on the bed that they're gonna share. it has yes and yes. I just love that both the pillows say yes, and they kind of look at each other, and it goes, "Mama and Papa are flirting." No, we're not. Yeah, y'all. I know I'm supposed to savor this meal and just wait for us to get there. I need y'all to hurry up and be like, I'm in love, and this is Mr. and Mrs. Smith style stuff. I need you to hurry up with that, please. I need to find out that both organizations are evil and that they got to work together and they got to save their family, and that the few people that like Loid are like, we're gonna, we're turning, we're working with you, buddy. And I need that to happen. I need it to happen, please. Although that would be darker than what this show really intends. I'm very interested on where this journey leads us. But anyway, later on, Anya and Lloyd are both reading Spy Wars. Anya's on book 5 and Lloyd is on book 1. And Anya goes, yeah, Mama's brother is late. And he's like, that'll be your uncle. Oh, Unky. Adorable. So she's trying to stay awake, and she wants to greet him too. And Yor's like, yeah, maybe he got, caught up with work. Anya just falls out on Lloyd's lap. He's like, just this man is surprised about affection. My lord. That is gonna be his trope for a while. And so we see Yuri walking down the street with a big ass bouquet of roses. And he's like, oh, I got so caught up in everything, I showed up late. And he's like, oh, I can't wait to see my sister. He doubles over in pain. He's like, yeah, remembering her embrace reminds me of the 2 ribs that she broke when she hugged him one time. I'm like, okay, so she's freakishly strong. Reminds me of Sonium Files. So, but now he really is a sister con, because now he's going on in his head like, maybe she didn't want to tell me. Maybe she waited a whole year to tell me because the guy she's with is actually evil. Oh, oh man, if this shithead, if he does anything to hurt her, I'm gonna throw him right in the cell. Literally what he says. Calls him a shithead, doesn't even know him. And he's like, oh wait, he doesn't want her to find out about his job because he doesn't want her to worry about him. She does, of course. This whole entire show is Liars. This should just be the name. Liar, liar. Oh wait, that's a movie. Should just be called Liars, right? Legitimately, the only person who is honest is the girl that can read people's minds. Yeah, she lies and she lied so she can get adopted, but she seems to be the only one that's like willing to be remotely truthful. It's so crazy. It's crazy that the lower your IQ is, the nicer you are in this show. So it's Anya than Yor. Yeah. Anyway, where am I at here? Oh, so he comes to the door. They're all, he knocks. They open up. Loid, they both give each other the stinky stare eye. I guess they don't notice it, but the slight opening eye from when they're closing it, being all jolly. Because Lloyd's like, he's not gonna come in and ruin this family that I worked so hard to make. And this dude just doesn't. He automatically doesn't like Lloyd because he just doesn't like him, right? Do the sister con. And Lloyd's like, yeah, this dude's the only blood relative, so I should have known this was gonna happen. It's easy to slip up in front of someone that you're emotionally bonded to too. Anya so is very cutely sleeping in bed. She's asleep. Dude took too long. It's nighttime, right? She probably has to go to school tomorrow. So, funny enough, the TV is talking about foreign prime ministers shaking hands, and that's the same time that Loid and Yuri shake hands. It's really weird that his name is Yuri and her name is Yor. You would have thought the names would have been switched. But anyway, he's being thoughtful, saying, I take your gloves and your hat and everything. He's like, nah, I got it. He's like, all right, I'm gonna get this food. Like, I'd eat anything that you make, man. And just yours, like, oh, you must be really nervous because you got a scary face. He's like, oh yeah, oh my animosity's showing. I gotta hide it. You faker, you big fat faker face. Anyway, of course he thinks that Loid isn't worth his sister. You know what? I'm not gonna agree with him at all. It's just, boy, these people are just it's so much internal conflict. I think that's why I like the show. There's something about this show that I can identify with. Not the liar part, but I can identify with some of how the characters function. Not wanting, and it's funny because the narrator even said this as Yuri was walking in. Some people lead double lives and they have to put on a mask to hide who they are to those that they care about. And man, that seems that seems there's some layers and what and that little phrase that guy says, that the narrator says. So anyway, oh yeah, I even wrote this down. Sorry, dumbest to nicest. Anya, Frankie, Yor. You can interchange Yor with Frankie. So he hasn't accepted the marriage yet. He wonders, why did she not tell him? We get a flashback of Lloyd going, why don't you just tell him? This day and age, single women are being singled out, and that's what you need. And she's like, nah, he can be a little bit sensitive. He would be very upset if I found out that I married someone I didn't love, which is funny because that is how approximately 45 to 56% of marriages in the real world are. A lot of people don't marry for love. A lot of people marry for convenience and for tax write-offs. This is what this is. So she doesn't want to cause Loid any trouble because if things ruin this whole situation, it can ruin things with Anya and everything can just crumble. And mostly Yor's thinking, I need to keep this up. I need to pretend to my brother that I'm the perfect wife because I want to keep killing. Pardon me. He wants to pretend to her that he's not a secret police killer man as well. So secrets. So when he asks her, she's like, I know the perfect thing that my brother will accept. I forgot. Loid breaks a cup. And he's like, but when I called you the other day and you said you had a partner, why didn't you tell me then? She's like, oh, I simply forgot that I forgot to tell you. And Lloyd breaks another cup. This dude, when it comes to his sister, the narrator tells us, logic flies out of the window. And he accepts it. And Lloyd is like, is this what all the Briars are like? Because that, I can't even believe it worked. All sense just goes out the window. So, do such a D bag when Lloyd brings the food over, he's like, yeah, I just got to pretend to like this man's food. And he genuinely likes it. Lloyd is a phenomenal cook, eating up the food and the hors d'oeuvres. Um, and he wants to get him drunk, so he brings wine. He's like, yeah, I'm going to get you drunk and get you to spill everything. And I think it's funny that Lloyd whispers to you, hey, you're not drinking. She's like, no, I get it. She has a glass of water because if she got drunk, she would probably spill everything and she would probably go ape shit, like beating up. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, um, so that's where they meet. He told the truth. They met at the boutique, and he's like, "All right, time to divert some of this." Yeah, but after a couple of dinners and blah 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 blah, we figured we had a lot of common. Dude starts drilling him like, "How many dinners? Where'd you eat? Where'd you go?" And it's like, calm your ass down. Like even you always like, why do I feel like I'm being questioned by an officer? And he's like, "What do you call each other?" He's like, "Well, I call her Yor." He's like, "You just call her Yor? What does my sister call her?" And he drinking because he's thinking, "Oh, she probably calls him Loidy." Ah, it's like, whoa. All right, this is a different kind of comedy, but all right. Again, logic just falls right out the window, and he's drinking, and she didn't even answer the question, and he's flipping out and drinking again, and dude is mad, and just Lloyd's like, looks like neither one of them can handle alcohol. And so he's like, "What is my sister seeing him?" Yeah, of course, he's handsome, he's tall, he's a doctor, and he can cook well. But so what? I'm just like, okay, bro. So he drinks again, and going Lloyd is trying to divert. He's like, "I heard you were a diplomat," and he's like, "Oh yeah, he went to a place called Hungaria, which basically looks like Paris, and this is where he had the wine from." And so Lloyd's like, "Oh yeah, I know that place. Yeah, I know the place very well." He's like, "How much does this cost?" And he's like, $200. He's like, ah. And Lloyd said that in his mind. He's like, uh-huh. This is the type of story. He's like, all this story has been a lie. This is the textbook Ostania fake story to make it seem like that you've been traveling. He's like, you may be able to fool an amateur, but you can't fool old Twilight. It's like, wow. And he even goes, yeah, that place, because Lloyd has actually been to that place. He's like, yeah, that place is now run by the owner's son. By the way, the wine is now $300 because of the really bad harvest. Doesn't say this out loud, but he knows. And we are treated to what's in his mind, saying that he had Frankie do some digging into him. And he did work in the ministry office, but that was for up to a year. And apparently, Secret Service had been scouting this guy. Lloyd can put the pieces together and now know that he works with the secret police and is pretty sure he is in that group, which is the enemy of Wise, the group that Lloyd works for. So wow, he had some reservations about all this, but he figures, well, since dude works there, maybe he can get some information. At the same time, if he can keep up the deception, he really won't have to worry about much because being that close, people will probably look outside of what's going on. So, um, trying to keep things together, and he wants to play his part right. Where am I at here? Killing for one time. So, dude is still drunk. Jumps up and is like, "I'm not accepting any of this because you know why I'm upset? Because my sister worked really hard to get me to where I am today." We have a flashback, him sitting at the dinner table waiting for her to come in, and she comes in with blood on her. She's been killing for a very, very, very long time. And each time that we see her come in with blood on her, she has a gift for him. She has something for Yuri, and he's saying out loud, some guy just comes in and marries her. I want to protect my sister. I want to make sure that she has somebody that will protect her. I expected her to get married and have a family, but I need to know someone can protect her. And Lloyd just straight up goes, "Well, I love her very much, if not more than you." And Yor's trying to keep it together. She's like, it's fake, because her face is red hearing this. And he's like, my daughter loves her very much too. That is not a lie at all. That's not a lie at all either. And he goes, even if the sky were to rain with spears or meteors, I would do my best to make sure she is not harmed. And dude In his mind, he's like, I can see him blocking spears, but meteors, you're a bald face. And it's funny because even the narrator goes, this man is a bald faced liar. And Yuri goes, you're a liar. The meteor thing was what tipped you all off. I mean, yeah, Loid is very weird when it comes to the emotional stuff. I still don't understand how women fell for him. Is it just the good looks? Maybe. Dude says a lot of awkward stuff from time to time, but I digress. Um, he was he even said, he said, can you protect her? Loidy is just, yeah, dude's drunk. So where am I at? So he's saying, you know what? Before he says this, he jostles the table, drops her cup of water. Both Loid and Yor try to clean it up, and Yor's like, calm down. They touch hands and they get that little Japanese shy. Oh, hand touching, how lewd. And dude's like, wait a minute, y'all been married for a year. Why would you react to touching your husband's hand like that? Is this a fake marriage? If y'all really love each other, show me. And Lloyd's like, all right, I can go get you a marriage license. He's like, no, no, no. That was a genuinely funny joke. No. Why don't you kiss each other? And she's like, what? He's like, you do it all the time. She's like, yeah, but in front of somebody? He's like, you only got to do it once and I'll believe you. And inside Lloyd's mind, it takes him 100 seconds to go, all right, cool. He's like, hey, calm down. We can do it. I'm going to do it. Let's do it. And Yor is bright red in the face. He's like, come on, Yor, let's do what we always do. And he's moving in, and the scenery's all lovey dovey, but she's freaking out like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. And that's the end of the episode, right there. This was a funny place to end an episode. Very funny. If the show's main thing, if it's comedy one, and then spy action second, you did that. Now, see, I have some feelings about this episode. Let's talk about next week's episode. Is going to be show how in love you are. Anya's probably gonna wake up and see her parents flirt, kissing, meet the a hole, and read this a hole's evil mind. Well, I don't want to call him evil, but read his nefarious mind, and maybe they actually kiss. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dokie dokie. Now, initially I was like, this episode's kind of a 3. Like, it's not bad, but then I realized my feelings towards the character of Yuri. I have issues with like brother cons and sister cons, or characters that are overly obsessed with a character, and not in a cutesy way, like the obsessive character slash perverted character, because those go hand in hand. I'm sorry, like in Black Clover, I can't remember the character's name, but the guy who's always talking about his little sister, kind of creepy. I see no difference between that and Mineta from My Hero. I see no difference from Mineta to Yuri, because dude is like soup. He's not as bad as the dude from Black Clover. I'll give you that. Not bad, not that bad at all. It's just, man, you are really hammering this home, and maybe, not maybe, this is literally just a very, very huge exaggeration of something that would happen in the real world, right? Someone, brother or sister, be like, hey, I want to make sure you treated my sibling correctly. I want to make sure they're with someone I can trust. And I get it. World's a dangerous place. You really only know what goes on in one person's mind, and it's you. So I get it. And this is played up for the laughs. Although I think there's only a few times I laughed. I don't know if it was with Yuri. I know I laughed at the I can get you the marriage license joke. The 2/8 thing, all Anya stuff is always funny. Her freaking out is funny. Loid just, for some reason, this man turning into a robot like that. That's funny. So this episode wasn't bad. It's just kind of a preference thing. I'll give it a 3.5. Certainly one of, like, it's not bad at all. Like, the show is above average with everything that it does, especially with pacing, flashbacks, overlaying conversations. I still have an issue with how Hulu does their subs. Start doing it like the people who rip the stuff and are able to put stuff at the top and at the bottom. You don't even have to do it like the people who do subs just to get the stuff out the pirators. You don't have to do it and have to explain every Japanese thing, but you really should have a better method instead of going, these two conversations happen at the same time. Here's his mind, here's the combo, then here's the underlying thing. No, there's a whole top space that you can use, Hulu. Use the top space. Netflix does it. But yeah, I'll give it a 3.5. A 4 at the most. It's not a 3 at all. It's a 3.5. Oh wait, I do things in fives. Yeah, 3.5, 4. It's not bad. It does give us this though. No, I'm gonna give it a 4. Yeah, no, it's a 4. I give it a 4. But you know what my first mind was. But tell me, guys, what do you think of this episode? Please don't forget to leave a comment down below. I genuinely want to know what you thought of this episode. What do you think of Yuri? What do you think of the developments that are going on? How do you think that first kiss is gonna go? Remember, I have not read the manga. I've seen scans on my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, on my social media, just because people are like, hey, this is going to show up soon. Here's what's going on. I see it there, but I haven't read it. This is probably one of the shows that I don't read because I just want to enjoy it as is. Don't forget to hit that like button. We need all likes we can around here. I already asked you to leave that comment. So with that comment, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this. And don't forget, you can share. As always, I thank you for taking some time out to spend some time with me. Be good, be blessed, wash your hands, wear a mask. Be safe out there. It's crazy, you all. Be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, don't be a jerk. Don't be a Yuri. Well, at least not out loud. As always, I will see you guys next time.